My run up to the 2024 Oscars, I've been catching up on what's available for free free without more paying on streaming, and we watched The Holdovers tonight. Alexander Payne's latest, going back to that educational will after election, man. Well, he's had about 20 or more years in between, so I guess he's allowed to a little bit of repetition. And I mean, he's on firm ground. Set in the 1970s, Paul Giamatti is a angry, bitter, caustic teacher at a exclusive boys prep school, something like that. Basically, this is going to funnel all these really privileged little shits into Harvard and Oxford and Cornell and all the places, because their rich families can afford to put them there, regardless of what their intellectual capabilities are, one way or the other. Divine Joy Randolph is the black cafeteria manager whose son, who went to the school but couldn't, of course, afford to go on to college, so ended up as in the army, and died in Vietnam. This is like 1970 going into 71 in the thing. And then there's the kid, this angry, fairly smart kid that is a kid in Tully, who is in Paul Giamatti's class, who is expecting to be going to St. Kitts with his mother and his stepfather. Except she says, they say at the last minute, they say, no, no, you're not coming. You get to stay over Christmas. And he and a number of other kids stay over, all these boys. And it gets winnowed down, so it's basically just Paul Giamatti's character, Peter Tully, and Divine Joy Randolph's Mary Lamb. And it's a story of kind of quietly damaged, restricted people, told very much in the kind of the rather kind of caustic, understated way of Alexander Payne, with kind of coziness at the same time as being extremely acidic. It's like, he talks at one point, is like, oh, there's this monograph that I've been meaning to write since college days. And Vine Joy Randolph's character looks at him and says, like, you can't even dream a whole dream. It's just like, that's the state they're in. And it's a very kind of quiet, understated movie, punctuated with lots of humor and causticness, and kind of found family, that just sort of ambles along and just really kind of just fucking creeps up at you on me by the end, in a way that's like, that's good. That's good. I mean, it's, yeah, yeah. And everybody, Giamatti is doing his kind of the best kind of Giamatti. I think of American Splendor, him playing kind of an angry kind of thing. This is older, angry, and more trapped and pathetic of a character than that. But and because he's someone who was a former student who's ended back here for perhaps reasons that weren't really under his control, and so he's trapped there, and there's this kid who's trapped there because he wants to be fucking St. Kitts or just anywhere else. Really wants to go to Boston. They get to Boston and they get this. They actually do a scene in the Brattle, which the Brattle is a bookstore in Boston, which I've heard so much about and even seen pictures of because Steve Donahue, um, the booktuber extraordinaire, often talks about it, has taken pictures in it, talked to the manager of it. So it's like, oh my god, that's the Brattle. I am such a fucking geek. Um, so yeah, I really, really enjoyed that movie. It's odd to think of it in the same thing with Poor Things and Barbie, and I'm sure the other movies. I mean, they're all kind of apples to oranges in a lot of ways. Um, but yeah, yeah, I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed that movie. Maybe it'll stick. Maybe it'll stick in there in the brain there. All right, I will leave it there. More videos later.